So we are pretty much in the situation of having completed everything on the van. So I decided to let my wife loose on a bit of decoration. So as you know, we've done a little bit of boho stuff inside. So we have a parcel that arrived. So let's just see what she's ordered. Yeah, I know what she's ordered really, but we'll show it to you. Anyway. Oh, we've got another box. All right. That's okay. The outside of the box is fairly well splattered. Oh, he said struggling. Come on, wifey. Let's get it out of the box. Thank you. Right.
It's tiny.
It is tiny, yes, I know. But you don't want a large amount of water. It's not like you want a 3-litre kettle in a little motorhome. How hard can this be? Right. Are you ready? Yes, it's cute, she says. Cute. Okay, we have a boho kettle. Allegedly. I didn't really know what boho was, but she says this is indicative of the style. But it apparently plays an interesting tune when it whistles, but we'll have to try that out later on. Yeah, so rather than having a huge kettle, which are normally about 2.5 to 3 litres, this is only 1.8 litres. It's rather pretty, and it'll go in the van quite nicely. But it was expensive. Oh well, what can you do? And of course, yes, we've also got a Temu parcel arriving today, so there's a few more bits and pieces in there. Anyway, I'll show you this in place a bit later on. Okay. Okay, so welcome back into the van. It's absolutely blazing hot outside. We've got going to be up to, I think, 39 degrees today. But anyway, just got a couple of things that came from Temu, so I thought I'd show you what we're going to do. So the first thing is the wardrobe. Doesn't have a lot of space in it, got a bit of a hanging rail at the top here, but the rest of it's fairly typical, just some shelves that we can hang a few things up in. But what I've got, which I thought might be quite useful, is one of these. So that should fit up there. That will either fit up there or I can, oh actually it'll fit there okay. And this is basically just little fabric compartments for putting socks and pants and stuff like that in. It'll just make use of some of the space that we've got. But I thought that was quite nice. It was only, I think €8, about £7 from Temu, but I think that will do very nicely. Just to store lots and lots of bits and pieces. We don't have a lot of storage in here. I've got some space underneath the back here, which I think will take the bedding. And then we've obviously got these little small cabinets at the top. Not a huge amount in them, but they do go all the way back. So nothing tall, but we can certainly put clothes and things like that in there. Then there's the one above the kitchen, which will be for the cooking stuff. It'll be all the tins, etc. when I've cleared my rubbish out of it. And then we've got a small cupboard down the bottom here. Not a lot of space in it, but yeah, we can put a few bits and pieces in there. Now the other thing that I've got is the microwave convection oven, which is going to sit over here. But this is wood, and so what I've done, oh you have to excuse the air conditioner, it's blasting away. It's doing a brilliant job. Anyway, this is a heat protective mat from Temu. So that will give us something to sit the microwave on. That will plug in down there because it goes straight into the inverter. So we've got the power for that. And it is narrow enough between these legs so that I can just pick it up, drop it down onto the floor on another one of these mats, and then the bed, which we've seen earlier on, will just open out across the space here, and then the microwave will just sit at the bottom there. So yeah, that's quite nice. Should do the job. The new dashboard is on its way. That should be here, I think, on Friday, a couple of days time. Give me a chance to make sure that that's working, and I can swap things over. So I'll take the speedometer out of the existing one and put it over onto the new one, because hopefully the gauges on that one will be working fine. So apart from that, we're getting ready to go. So we're going to test it in a week's time. We've got a local campground is hosting a Rapido group, so there'll be lots of Rapidos turning up, mainly from the UK. So we'll be able to go and see a few of those and test it all out. The shower's now working properly, the toilet's working. That's all nicely done. There's no leaks. We've sorted the bed out. The table is much better now because I've narrowed it, and it gives us enough support on the edges so that we don't feel it when we're lying down. And the blinds are up, so they're all working. It's keeping it relatively cool in here. I mean, the AC is working away, but it's not a bad environment to enjoy this sunny weather. So see you in a bit. Find another job to do. All right. So back in the van today. Sorry about the noise. It's about 40 degrees today, and I've got the air conditioning on, but that's the beauty of having that, is that I'm now just sitting in nice cold air. Right, so I've managed to get the wiring diagrams from the book, which of course starts off with a disclaimer saying that Renault never actually followed any official colour charts. Basically installed whatever they had available whenever it was available. Kind of typical, I suppose, but hey. Anyway, I've managed to track all the lines, and what I have determined is that the wire at the back, which was disconnected, the second wire there is the lighting wire, and for some reason it's coming off this blue wire here, so that's okay. This one, which was connected to this white wire, which is also a lighting wire, is actually correct, because what that does, it illuminates the orange symbol on the dash where the lights are switched on. So I can reconnect all that up, and that's fine. So I have replaced let's go back here. I have replaced the fuel gauge, and it is reading slightly higher, but I'm still going to have to get underneath the van onto the sender, and I think what the problem is it's corrosion on the sender. So the way the system works is that it applies 12 volts to the sender circuit in the fuel tank, and then the wiper arm that goes up and down with the fuel gauge works across some resistance, and depending upon the value of when the resistance is higher, the voltage becomes lower, and vice versa. So what the fuel gauge is doing is detecting the difference between 12 volts and whatever voltage is coming from the sensor. Now, because the sensor is using resistance in order to work out how high or low the fuel is, a dirty connection on it will actually give higher resistance, and so the gauge would always read slightly lower, which is exactly what's happening. So I think if this doesn't work, I'm thinking that the sender itself is working, because the fuel gauge was lower when I didn't have so much fuel in it, and when I put fuel in it, it went all the way up. So therefore I'm thinking, well, actually that sounds as though it's working okay, and may just be a bad resistance somewhere in the circuit. So I'm going to crawl down, maybe not today, and clean off the spade connections on the sender and see if that improves matters. But at the moment it's showing about 3/4 full. I've got the ignition switched off at the moment, so it's not showing. But apart from that, I've just cleaned everything up, and so now I have got all the other bits here which are going to go back on, and I'm going to reconnect this floating wire here, make it a little bit shorter, but connect it to the lighting wire, and that should be good to go. So I'll crack on, get that done, and I'll show you the finished results. See you in a bit. Okay, so that's the dash in. Obviously, before I reconnect it all, it's just not clipped in yet. Got the cover to go on, but I just want to check all of the lights are working. So that's what you can see with the fuel gauge. Fairly certain it's a full tank, so I just need to go and just check that out, as I said earlier on. So I've got my ignition switch on, I've got my oil pressure, I've got my handbrake light. If I put the lights on, wrong one, sorry. Okay, so I've got my telltale now for the lights being on. If I go full beam, I've got my full beam light. What's left? If I go for fog lights, I've got my fog lights on. My hazard warning lights are working, and then the only other one then is the choke, which is there. So everything's working now. I can just reconnect it all back up together and put the cover, binnacle back on, etc., which I'll crack on with, and that should be it for the dashboard. So yeah, all good. Right, so we're back in the van, done all the small jobs, but I wanted to show you today this fan that we've bought. This is by Shark, and it's a HydroGo. It's rechargeable, but you can also power it from a 12 volt mains supply, so you can plug it in and have it running continuously, or you can run it from the built-in battery. I think it's got 5 speeds. At the lowest speed it gives you about 8 or 9 hours of use, but at high speed it's down to about an hour and a half. But it also has a pump and a little reservoir in the top there, which you can put water into, and then when you open that up, that is a very, very fine nozzle for spraying water. Now I recommend that you use distilled water, because the little nozzle down here is extremely fine, and if you're going to put some water that's got a high mineral content in it, then I imagine the nozzles will clog up fairly quickly. I would imagine you could run something like vinegar through it to try and clean it, but I'd rather use distilled water in the beginning. The reservoir isn't particularly big, so you get about an hour of spraying from it, but that's something I could live with because it is brilliant. So when you turn it on, which is there, I'm going to put the microphone as close as I can. I've actually got the air conditioning running as well, because we are a little toasty in here today. It's about 37 degrees outside, and the van hasn't been opened up today, so it's quite toasty in here. But if you can just gather that is absolutely silent. Now my wife uses this at night time and we don't hear it. Okay, now that might be because we've got old ears, but yeah, it's very, very quiet. We've got Dyson fans, we've got all sorts of things that blow, and this is literally the quietest of the lot. The different speeds, you can just increase it from the buttons on the top here, and by the time you get up to higher speeds, sorry, wrong one, yeah. Sorry, turn the pump off. So that is on the high speed, and obviously that's quite noisy, but as soon as I turn it down, it just is. It is just one of the best designs I've seen, and with it being quite compact, we're going to put a handle up here which is going to hold it, so that when I've got the air conditioning running in the front, it's just going to blow the cold air towards the back of the van. and I think it's brilliant. The base is removable if you want. I think you can actually get a taller stand for it, although I don't want to spend any more money. Spent enough. They're about 130 euros. The link I'll put down there below is on Amazon. It's a referral link, so it doesn't cost you any more money, but I do get a little bit back to help the channel if you do decide to buy one. Or you can actually go to Shark themselves and buy them from there. But Amazon had a bit of a deal on, so see what you can find. But as I say, it is phenomenal for what it is, and I'd highly recommend it. If you've got a camper van, you've got a motorhome, that will be one of the best purchases you make. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Right, I shall leave it there. I'm going to get the van out in the week. Now the heat has dropped, I'm going to be heading over to a local campground. We're going to set up for the night for the first time, make sure everything works, because we've just booked the ticket to head up to the UK, which is like a 1600-mile journey, and it'll be my first long trip in the van, which is 43 years old this year. Wish me well. No doubt there'll be some interest along the way. Hopefully there won't be breakdowns, but hey, you never know. But yeah, you can come and follow us on that journey, and just to subscribe if you feel like it. There's no cost. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it'll give you the chance to follow what we do, because we do have Highland cows in the horizon. My wife is originally from Scotland, and she wants to meet some Highland cows, which she has never done in all her years. So yeah, that's coming up in an episode fairly shortly. So yeah, remember to subscribe, and I will catch you all a little bit down the road. Bye for now.